What do you know about Java?
It is a programming language.
Awesome. Programming language. Mark this word. I'll talk about this one.
Server-side language.
Server side.
It's an object-oriented programming language, and it is independent platform.
It is independent of platforms.
Independent of platform. What do you mean by that?
It can run on different OS versions with the same level of code.
Okay, so say OS versions, if it is working, it works on Windows 8, 8.1, 9, 10, 11. So will we call this as an independent?
Parallelly, it can work on iOS also.
Okay, cross platforms. How this would be working? Okay, fine. Anyways, we'll discuss that particular point. Good pointer. Next. Any other pointers?
Main thing is in Java, we don't have pointers. It's a biggest advantage.
No pointers. Means what?
Yes, sir.
Pointer concept.
In memory allocation, we in C, C++ languages, we are having pointers because of memory allocations. But in Java, they are automatically save, so we don't have the use of pointers.
Okay, memory management system.
It's an object-oriented programming language.
That's OOPS, which we discussed. Okay.
High-level programming language.
High-level program. Okay. Who given the answer? I'm just trying to see. High-level program. First of all, the answers which it has been given is programming language. Second thing is server-side programming. Third answer is it's OOPS or project or object-oriented programming structure. And then it is independent of platform. Next, high-level language. Next. Any other answers? Okay. First of all, what is a programming language? See, now we are talking about Java. Okay, we are saying that Java is a programming language. So what is meant by programming language or high-level language?
Set of instructions
Which can perform some tasks.
Set of instructions. Okay.
Which can perform some tasks.
Okay. Those perform some
tasks.
Okay. Any other point? What do you mean by programming language? Okay. Let me bring up a few pointers. Now, if I speak with you, all people within, okay, can I speak with you in Chinese or Spanish,
No.
Italy?
No, sir.
Why you can't understand? Because that's not our language. So if I spoken in Telugu or Tamil or Hindi or Tamil, any language which we guys understand, so that we can talk about it. But if it is some language which I don't know anything about it, so how it will perform the instruction? I just asked you, hey, bring me some water. Now the people didn't understand that. Can he perform that particular task? He can't perform the task. Now there should be some medium which it can, means when I speaking something or when I given a command, you should able to understand that command and then you need to perform this, right? So now for this one, we should have some platform. Now here we see here, we are saying that language. Why language is necessary for us? To communicate the things between two different entities having a common platform. Means for an example, now I went for US. So now I'll have a common platform that I can speak English. Now when I went for Chinese or China, so now, okay, I don't want to take that example. So now I wanted to take for Russia. I need to talk Russian So now what I'll try to do, I'll try to take a Russian translator who can understand the English and then Russian, so that he can take that and then he will convert that one into this. So now we should see, either you should know what you're speaking to the people, either you should understand, else you should have a translator to convert that particular commands into the respective things, right? Simple. So now this is language. Now programming language is, with the help of a program, I'll communicate my instructions or communicate my whatever I wanted to give that particular commands. So this is called a programming language. Now programming language will help to communicate the information between a system and a human. Very simple, right? Because if you go and search in the definitions of the programming languages, it might be different. But to me, or to the general understanding what is meant by a programming language, this is not. Now this is a language with the help of a program. So it takes that and then it will communicate the human interactions or human commands to the system. It translates according to this. Now system, when it comes to the system understands only ones and zeros, on, off. So now we will be having, now that's the reason whenever we communicated to the system, to the OS, to the kernel will understand only ones and zeros. So now we will be having the concept of bits, bytes. How many bits make one byte?
8 bits, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you should be, see, these are very basics, you shouldn't miss it out. One bit equal to, bit means 1 or zeros. Anything is called as a 1 bit. Now 1 bit equal to 8 bytes. That's it. Even if I ask the same question for 100 times, you need to say, yes, it is 8. Yes, it is 8. Yes, it is 8. Because the answer is 8. Now, how many bytes equal to 1 kilobyte? Already we have been discussed this one, but just to, because now complete our memory management system will be depend upon this. So that's a reason we just wanted to know. So now how many bytes make 1 kilobyte?
1024.
So now 1024 makes 1 KB. So now how many KBs make 1 MB?
1024K.
So 1024K will be KBs, kilobytes will make to be 1 megabyte. Means 1 megabyte equal to 1. Now now megabytes to gigabytes. Now 1204 megabytes MB equal to 1 GB. So now 1024 GB equal to 1 terabyte. So 1024 terabyte equal to
Beta.
I know it is zettabyte, right?
Zettabyte.
Zettabyte. So now petabyte or zettabyte, I don't know. So just once again, I'll confirm and then I know that is 1 zettabyte, but if it is anything till peta it is coming, I don't know. So 1024 terabytes equal to 1 zettabyte. So if you want, please refer that one. I'm not pretty sure. I think this is zettabyte, but if it is any other thing, you just refer. But till here, I'm pretty sure till here, because always our systems and everything we use for the terabytes. Okay, now we understand this one. Now this particular, because we wanted to understand why we wanted to learn this measurements is, we wanted to know the memory management, right? So that's where we wanted to have it. So now you will try to give this particular instruction so that it will convert into the ones and zeros, and then the system will understand this information. Without this one, so now someone need to have the native language. So now the system will understand these are the native languages. Now I said it's a high level language. Java is a high level language, right? So now we understand what is a programming language. Now we are talking about a high level. I think I have some sliders here. This is for the introduction, but still. Okay, so now you see here. See, it is designed, what is your programming language? Designed to communicate the instructions to machine. And it will try to control the behavior of the machine. So now that is the reason we will be having the programming language. Now let's go back to what you meant by high level language and low level language. In high level language, we do have two categories. One is object-oriented language. Second one is procedural language. Now we've spoken that Java is an object-oriented language. So now you see it, programming language. Programming language classified into high level, low level, and high level language will classified into the object-oriented language. Now into this particular wing, Java will fall over here. Okay, now we understand what is programming language. Now you are saying that high level language will have two things and low level language will have two things. First of all, you tell me what is high level language? What do you mean by high level language? We said, when I asked you the question, what is Java? We said that it is a high level language. What is high level language? And this is one of the popular joke which it populated before 2-3 years when, okay, I don't wanted to say that there are some junior training programs. For juniors, they will train the coding. So at that, for them, in the forum, they asked one big question. Hey, can you define me what is a high level language and low level language? So to the trainer, it is not that to insult anyone, but I'm just saying that you should understand the basics of this so that if someone talks about what is programming language, see now Java, I can directly jump into Eclipse and then talk. But we should know what is a programming language and what are these high level languages, low level languages, so that you can have a clear cut information how this is structured. Okay. Okay. Coming back to here now, what do you mean by high level language? Any answers?
Having procedural or object-oriented coding models.
You're telling me
like these features would be there. These two features, object-oriented and procedural.
Usually in our BTech, I used to write the same question for 30 times in a different formats. So now you're giving me the answer in a different form, whatever the question is. But I asked you, what is a high level language?
Or which is human being giving to the instructions for a mission?
That is programming language.
High level language generate machine language codes.
See, my question is, I didn't ask what high level language generates. I asked what is high level language. First, it is very simple. Already someone has been given the answer. High level language is nothing but which human can understand. No, it's not a C program. High level language is nothing but which it can be understandable by the humans. Now, if I write a code, what do you write for printing the hello world? I have written it system.println, right? So now sysout. So now SYSO, you have been written and then hello world. Now I can read this word system.println and then hello world you're going to print. By reading this one, so that would be a human readable language, right? I can understand what is a particular piece of code, right? So this is called high level language. And what is low level language? Low level languages these are mission understandable languages. Now, getting into the byte codes or converting the complete into the assembly language. Now, for an example, ones and zeros, you can't even understand what is this. Code will be there. Like this, it will be there. So now you can't understand what is this. Can you understand what is this? We need to understand what is this means. We need to understand the ASCII values of this and then we need to convert. Rather than that, if I keep this one as A, B, See, I just wanted to print this. Is it understandable by you? Oh, you understand this?
No, sir.
These are the
See,
RCs.
it is very simple. Now, this is something like a Greek, and we don't understand. But for Greeks, they will understand this. Means which is system. System can understand this, but we understand this. So this is our language. This is system language. Now we need to have someone to help me to translate this one. Translator, we will have it, right? So that translator will come into the picture. When I go to Java, who is our translator? We'll get it. But now you need to understand that high-level language and the low-level language. Low-level languages are mission understandable languages, and high-level languages are human understandable language. So which we can read and understand what the operations are performing over here. So now, so this is called high-level language, and this is called low-level languages. And in high-level languages, it can be go for object-oriented procedure and procedural language. Now, what is this object-oriented and procedural means? There are two different patterns of understanding the human behavior. The human, if at all in the high-level language, it can be understandable by with the object oriented with the oops and then with the procedural also. Now, what is meant by oops and what do you meant by procedural? We will discuss in detail when we go for Java. Anyways, we have one more slider. I'll try to give you a high-level view what is meant by object-oriented programming language. And assembly language and mission-level language is nothing but this would be understandable only by the operating system, because this is a system language. So now, if it is in Greece, the Greek people can talk in Greek. Both people are there, they can understand. So now, the OS and the system, they can understand this one, because that's a common language for them. So now, converting into the mission understandable language, which is called assembly language and the machine language. There are certain differences is there. What is the difference between an assembly language and machine language? I'll give you the differences. You can go through that. But if I given you that differences now, you will miss the assigns of the Java. Okay. So now overall, what we have been discussed is what do you meant by programming language and what do you meant by high-level language and low-level language. And high-level language will have oops and procedural language, low-level assembly language and machine language, which it means it can be understandable by the machine and this can be understandable by the human. So now what is oops and what is procedural? We didn't discuss. So that part we will keep it in our further discussion. So here what we have been discussed. Now, first of all, we discussed these programming language, high-level, low-level, and the classification of the high-level, low-level. Till this point, any questions? Any questions?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Now the first question is, there are many procedural languages many procedural languages are there. Means why we should learn only Java? Selenium supports, when it comes to Selenium part, I think I will miss this once again. Because all these things we are trying to learn because we wanted to learn Selenium, right? So automation tool, right? When we wanted to learn an automation tool, at this point of time, so now what are the languages the Selenium is supporting? So we should know that, right? So now if you see here, Selenium will support 7 languages till 3.141.59 version. But once after Selenium getting into the fourth version, 4.001 alpha, it started to support many other languages. Means it will support the Python, Java, C#, Perl, PHP, Ruby, now Go. So Go is a language from Google. So now Rave. So now these are many languages it was started to support. But out of all these languages, why should we learn Java? Hey, I can implement JavaScripting is very easy. I can implement with the JavaScripting. Why should I learn Java?
Many
Makes sense, right?
projects.
User
Many
friendly.
JavaScript
Easier.
is much, see now, VB scripting or JavaScripting is much more lightweighted. So that is much more easier to learn. Why only with Java? So we can
Nowadays,
have
many projects
many projects.
many projects undergoing in Java only.
Projects undergoing only in Java. Why Selenium?
More
Okay,
features
okay,
are
that would be.
available with Java.
Let's see the current statistics. So this is 2020. This is 2 years old. Oh, here I am seeing it. 2018, it was there. Now this is one of the community, so you can go and check this one. Tayobi. So now this particular community can gives us what which language is prominently using across the globe. Across the globe, which language is more frequently used? We have C, C++, Python, C#, .NET, PHP, JavaScript, SQL, Ruby. All these things are there. Now, which is prominently used? By seeing this particular graph itself, you can understand, right? Blue color line.
Java.
So now
Sir,
we can understand
Java
that.
is script and Java is different.
Yes, yes, guys. Always you remember, JavaScript is different. Java is different. The scripting languages are different. Okay, Java is a programming language. Okay, okay, I don't want to confuse you with the JavaScript now. Just understand that there is a difference between. That's the reason I'm saying it. Selenium supports Java and JavaScripting both, but we are purely talking from the Java programming language. Okay, so why we need to learn, means why we need to have Java is it is much popularized in market. Any issue, see now for an example, you think that there is a language which don't have support, you got stuck. Can you proceed further? No, because there is no forums are supported there. There are multiple new languages comes into the market, but if it is not so popular, you can't use it, because if it is popular, many people used it, many people encountered the same issue, many people have been fixed that issue, so that it can be much more easier for them to proceed further. But if you don't have that, so how you can fix this? So, and this is a high paid service, obviously everything it drill down to the salary, right? So now, what is an annual pay? This pay would be for the experienced or from the point of USD. Don't consider this one. So this is what why Java? So why not other tools? Because it is more popular and more availability in the market, issues, forums, and everything. Example. Now, if you something means overall, if you take the community, Selenium community. If it is 100%, out of 100%, I'm pretty sure that 85% of people will use only with Java, and 5% with C# or okay, Python, another 5% with C#, and another 5% with others. Others means other languages like PHP, JavaScript, .NET. So now you can see that particular statistics. So which is 85% of the things it occupied. By this itself, you can understand more job opportunities, more popularity, and more implementations, and more salaries. So everything drilled down to this. So that's the reason Selenium was much popularized with Java, and we'll be learning Java. Hey, I came here to learn Selenium. Why you are trying to learn me Java? Because now what is automation? I said, I'll be writing some set of lines. My test cases, I'll be writing it, manual test cases. Whoever didn't write the test cases or whoever doesn't know the test cases, please go back and refer the videos. Now I written the manual test cases. Now I need to convert this manual test cases into automated code. Means automatically it should open the browser, automatically it should navigate to the URL, automatically it should enter the username, password, click the login button, go to the home page and validate whether you are on the home page. Now these all validations you have done, right? Automatically it should done. How the system can understand these instructions? There should be some language parts. So now that programming language is Java. Learning Selenium, maximum 3 to 5 days. If you learn Java. If you don't know Java, you can't learn the tool. That's it. That's the reason. So now always you should understand the hierarchy of learning. Which one to learn first, which one to learn next. So that's the reason. So now first, if you learn Java, learning Selenium hardly 3 to 5 days. But without learning Java, you can't ever learn Selenium. Okay, that's the reason we are going for Java. For any language you can learn and implement with Selenium. But as this is most popular and more implementation, more projects, more forums, then we are going with Java. That is why it is why Java. But did I answer your question? Why Java we need to pick it up? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes, sir.
questions? Now, the second pointer, we said that it is an independent platform, or it is okay. Anyways, the further slides will talk about this one. So means it will be more popular, or this one, right? So we'll talk about that one. Okay. Now I think I changed that particular thing. Just give me 1 second. So now the second one is this portability. Now, what do you mean by portable? What do you mean by portable?
Easily movable, carryable.
So portable means you can keep on this, you can port on that and it will work. So we have the ports, harbor ports, right? So means that is where we can get the goods, exports and imports via waterways, right? Now on that one you can port, means you can deliver the things or export the things. Now Java is a language. It can be ported on Windows, ported on Mac, means Apple, iOS, and then Linux. Any platform it will take, and it will work on any platform. Okay, then this is called this is called as a compatibility, right? So this is compatible with Windows, with compatible with Mac, compatible with the Linux. This is called as that compatibility, right? Yes, compatibility. Portability means compatibility means it can work with it. What is portability is, I write my code, hello world, sys dot, okay, sys out. Now will be have, hey, this is a short form like system.println, which you have been written. For that one is sys out. So always we will be saying that will sys out. Okay. Now hello world, you have been written the program. You've written your mission. Your mission is Windows. Windows mission, you have been written this. Now this particular thing, you have written the code and you can execute in the Windows 8, 8.1, 10, 11, in Mac 14, 15, in Linux 19. This I'm saying the version numbers, because always you should remember what are the Linux version numbers, Windows version numbers. It should be on your fingertips on browsers and on OS. Always remember that. So now these all means you have written the code and you are porting on any particular operating system, it can be executed. This is called as Aura, not Gora. It's Aura. Aura means write once, run anywhere. So write once, run anywhere. So you're writing your code in one platform, executing in any platform. So you're porting your code on Windows, Mac, Linux, anywhere. So write once, execute anywhere. But if it is in case of C#, this can be supported only in Windows. You can write whatever the things are there, you can write them. See, I'm not saying that C# is better, Java is better. No. Every programming language, it won't have its own capabilities. Either it was Java, Python, C#, everything has its own power. Somewhere this guy will be bigger, means we will be having superheroes versus superheroes, like Captain means we'll be having, right, Captain America versus Thor. So Thor have his own powers. Captain America have his own powers. Captain America, Thor versus what his name? Okay, we will be having different, right? Thanos. So Thor versus Thanos. So Thanos have his own powers and this one. So the same way, everyone is powerful here. Few advantages and disadvantages according to their own programming languages. Now Java have one excellent feature which is called Vora. Write once, run anywhere. So that portability is there. So this is the reason this is called as platform independent. Platform means Windows, Mac, these things are called as different platforms, and it is independent of the platform. Means it is not dependent upon on anything. You can just write one code and this code can be executed in any of your platforms. How this is feasible, that we'll study in the next session. So this is called platform independent. And versatile. So this can be used anywhere. Either you can use it in your different companies or different ways. Anywhere you wanted to use Java, you can use it. And even in the applications and all. So that I'll discuss in the next sliders. You get the more information on the versatility. Versatile means it can change the shape accordingly, where whatever it required, either this or that. So there it will be working as this, here it will be working like this. So it would be like a means if you pour the water in a rectangular box, it will be rectangular. If you pour the water in a circular box, it will be in the circular. So now that is versatile. So now you put anywhere, it can convert its shape according to that. So that versatility is there. So now you can use it in artificial intelligence, or you can use it in anywhere you wanted to use it. So that is how Java is portable and versatile and platform independent. Platform independent, anyways, we have another slider, but still I just taken the example over there. Now this is a slider which I'm talking about. Hey, we will be talking a little bit more about OOPS. OOPS means object-oriented programming. Okay, now the name itself, it was saying that object means they complete this particular structure will run around the object. What is an object and how this object will be there and how these objects can be created and how these objects will be defined. All these, there will be a big session. Usually it takes 1.5 hour session. You can see that what do you mean by object and all. If you don't understand this, you can't learn Java at all. Just give me 1 second. So now, if you see here, without understanding this particular thing, without understanding the OOPS, you will not understand Java. If you understand the OOPS, you will play with Java. And most of your interview questions would be part of this OOPS. Because to know that whether you know Java or not. So now here how your training session would be classified is. So first we will be learning the basics of Java. Then we will go to the OOPS. And this particular course will end from the beginner level to the intermediate level only. So by the end of this course, don't feel that I'll be mastered in Java. No. Because Java is a big ocean. In this particular ocean, we'll be learning a few pointers here. Not more than that. Whatever it is required for the Selenium automation, that's the topics we'll be discussing and then we'll be learning. Because other things are really not really important for us. Spring Boots or whatever the different advanced concepts of this one, it may not required for us to do in the Selenium automation. Whatever it required, we will train till that point. So now here in OOPS, as I told you, if you learn OOPS, then Java would be easy. In OOPS concept, what are the things we need to learn? We have only 4 concepts, which is polymorphism, which is encapsulation, which is abstraction, and which is inheritance. So these are the 4 pointers which we need to learn. Very simple. That's it. OOPS means these 4 concepts only. Plus, I'll be having some other concepts like interfaces or all these things will come as part of this particular course. And I'm saying it right. If you learn OOPS, you can learn multiple languages because OOPS concepts are similar, almost 90% is similar in all the languages. In C# we have the OOPS. In Java we have the OOPS. So that is how you need to learn it. And it is very simple. See, now I call Apple in India Apple. If I go for US, what I'll call that? I'll call red apple or green apple. You guys are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now if you see here, I'm calling apple as apple in India and US, but I was adding some more things like a green apple or red apple. So even the same OOPS concepts are same in another language also, but just a slight here and there will be modification. So that's how the OOPS, if you learn this 4 concepts in the OOPS, we're done. Mostly we will be using these 2 concepts, polymorphism and inheritance in C. Anyways, we'll discuss about encapsulation and abstraction also, but we give more importance to this because, as I told you, our complete course will be inclined towards sailing. Clear? So what is OOPS? Boss, you didn't said that, and you are talking about all. As I told you, if I talk about OOPS, an object-oriented programming language, it takes a lot of time, but a high level, OOPS will help you to do a lot of reusability, lot of security and confidentiality. And we can abstract, means we can hide the things, hide the implementation, which is security. And reusability, more, you will write 5 lines of code, but we can get a lot of 1,000 lines of code behind the 5 lines of code. So those are all lots and lots of advantages are there. It's a structured language. You can say that Java is a very structured language. Do you think that other languages are not structured? I mean, not. See, when I'm saying this is good, it's not meant that the other things are bad. As I told you, so Java have its own power to do it. Okay. Now, by the way, so who invented Java? So actually, in 1995, actually I think it started from 91. James Gosling. So this guy has been with the Sun Micro, you know, right? Sun Microsystems is a core team which they have been invoked. Invented this particular Java language. Before, I think with some the name which Stokes or something it was coming. Later on, it converted with the name of Java. So they have the primary objectives to bring up this one so secured, structured, and easy to use. With all these particular factors, they have been introduced this particular language in 1995. Sun Microsystem and the first. So that's a basic information of Java. And the versions when it comes to this one. So now currently, the current version of Java is, I think it is 18, and sure it will come very soon for 1920 also. It's in a beta release and then tested. But the live version, it is in 2022. I think the 18th version has been released in Jan. So now, previously till 8th, Java, even now for our training sessions and everything, we'll be using Java 8, 2.31, 2.52. These are the version numbers. Okay, so we'll be using these particular Java versions only. So because the latest versions, it goes for commercial usages, but this will be having long-term support. So this is called as LTS version. LTS is long-term support versions. We'll be using it from the Java. So this is a simple basic intro. So who invented, when invented, which company invented, Sun Microsystems, and then now currently it was taken care by Oracle. So now complete the Java platform was taken care and then maintained and developed by, enhanced by Oracle. So the latest version is 18, and then still we are going to use on this one. Why? Because this is a commercially charged. Now this is completely open source. So and then it have been under the license, which is LTS license. We are trying to use it. Okay. So this is a quick brief about the history of Java. Now coming back, so these are the features. Now why Java or portability, versatility? So these are the features of Java. Cool. Any questions or any pointers here? And Java is everywhere. What do you mean by everywhere? You go for banking domain. In banking domain they use. You go to the stock market. In stock market, everywhere they are using. You go to the information technology. It is there. Everywhere it is using. You go to the retail industry. The retails they are using it. You go any domain. In all the domains, Java is present. You know, right, when you're installing Java itself, you can see that 3 billion, more working on 3 billion devices. That was very old. It might be more than that. Billion. Okay, you remember it's a billion, not millions. Okay, so now I definitely, Java works in many of the machines. Without Java, many of the things will not even work in your system too. So that's how the Java language is popularized. Okay, and most of the company names, you can see it's one of big company names here, so which this is using it. Okay, so that is how the Java is used in each and every domains, different domains. So now the domains means we have been discussed, right? Different sectors. In healthcare domain or banking domain, stock marketing, retails, telecoms, information technology, in all domains it will be used. Many of the big companies everywhere, this would be used. Okay, so now the next one is the development tools. Hey, if I wanted to develop or work with Java, what are the IDEs I wanted to take it? IDEs. Somewhere else, okay, I think we didn't start saying IDE, integrated development environment. What do you mean by integrated development environment means? Integrated development environment means I'm trying to write my code. I should have some interface, right? See, I can't go here and then write into my notepad. Okay, I can't write my code in this notepad. So it should require some platform to write, some interface to write. So that interface is nothing but an IDE. It's not only that interface, it provides you with lots and lots of options. It can compile your code, build the code, generate the reports. Oh, lots of advantages are there. So now those things are called as development environment. Means if you wanted to develop something, if you wanted to write something, your code and do the development, so we should require some environment. So that is where we provide with this particular environments. Now, what are the environments which Java can support is NetBeans, IntelliJ, Eclipse, Android Studios. So these are the IDEs which it can be supported. So in our course and training, we'll be taking Eclipse as the core and then we'll be working on it. Hey, why can't I can use IntelliJ? I can use a NetBeans, or you can use it, who stop you? But we experienced in here, so I only use Eclipse. I don't use this. That's where. Why is there any advantages, disadvantages? Why you wanted to use this? Why you can't do this? It's my convenience. See, now I have Ola and Uber. You wanted to book in Ola or Uber, so it's your convenience, your point of view, your opinion. You feel that it is very easy. I'll get more number of cabs and other things. To me, I feel the same. So it depends upon which idea, but it provides you the same. So I use Eclipse, and the complete training also will be giving on the Eclipse. So Eclipse is a tool which is an IDE specifically for Java programming language. So which we are going to use it now. Cool. So now these are the introductions and the prerequisites. Now you can understand. So what we are going to train, what we are going to learn, how it is related to the Selenium, and what are the things we are going to learn, and where we are going to develop this. All things we are discussing here. Cool. So now let's go for this. Next one, which applications it will support? You remember we have been discussed 1-tier applications, 2-tier, 3-tier, 4-tier applications, 5-tier applications and all. So now here, so Java would be in web applications, and Java will be used in different frameworks. Java will be used in Android development means your phones, applications, and these things are there. So Android developments and continuous integration. So, continuous testing. So now when you're testing something, so now this is where you use your Selenium and other tools. So for that particular thing, so you will be writing your code in Java. So now you can see it in the development, creating the frameworks and creating the web applications, whatever, wherever, the big data. So wherever you take, everywhere the Java is used. So now those we have been seen from the domain level. Now these are, we seen it from the application level. You take any category of applications, in all the categories, we can use Java. So that is the prominence of the language. So now here you see it. So the continuous testing, it pointed to the Selenium. And for big data, and for any particular Android application developments or anything, so that can be done. And any domain web applications like the retail domain or anything, so we can use it into this. So this is how the Java is used everywhere in terms of domains and in terms of the applications, application types. Why it is more means popular? Because it have more presence. There are lots and lots of forums. So when you go, if you go with a problem statement related to Java and Eclipse, you can have many forums out there to support and help you. Forums are, it's a free run group where whenever you have stuck with a problem, you post the problem, that problem will getting the answers for it. And when you started to learn this one, so as you have the newcomers, it can have the multiple forums over stack. See, if Google is not working, many of the developers, many of the testers, everyone will lose the job, because with the help of Google and with the help of Stack Overflow, the people will write the codes. Without this, many of the people will be like a handicapped. Not many, almost all the people. So Stack Overflow is one of the popular thing where now this word you will be hearing for tons and tons of time going further. Because without Stack Overflow, we can't write our things. There are many forums and organizations which it supports from the Java. Whenever you got a problem, guys, can you go on mute? So when you try to, when you stuck with any particular problems, there are many forums and many places who can come and then help you to support you on this. That is what the resources and the communities. So there are many forums and communities to support you on this. See, Java EE is nothing but enterprise edition. So now what it will be having is, it have compatibility. So now it can support for web, it can support for mobile, it can support as any other forums, any other format. So that is what we said, that compatibility. It can compatible with any particular devices. Now it can be written in the APIs. APIs is a it is like a transformation of a request and getting back the response. Means you give a command, you get a response. Okay, this is like I given you an example, right? You will go for a hotel. In a hotel, you will give the command for the server. Server will take that particular command and he'll get back with the response. So he gets the request and he serves the response. So that is what means the APIs. So there are a lot of sessions for this. For introduction itself, we used to have 1.5 hour to 3 hours sessions is there. You can just refer. But that compatibility with anything. So means compatible, this particular code means will be compatible with other APIs, or whether it can be compatible with devices, laptops, phones, smartwatches, or games, or anywhere. So now Java can be used as backend APIs for any particular devices also. So that is how it will be used. And these are a little bit means the procedures, functions, and all. You might be having a lot of small confusions, but don't get too much worried. So when we go into the details of this one, so we will discuss like utilities, XML parsing, DB connections and all. Means how, if I wanted to talk to the DBs, how I'll be connecting and then talking. If I wanted to parse the JSON XML files, how I'll do it, and what is the procedures or what movement were functions and all, we will be doing. You just understand from this particular slide only one thing. So it can support the multiple devices, multiple things to communicate that particular information. So that is how this particular Java would be used. And moreover, what are the best advantages is, say now till the version means there are latest versions of Java will be a commercial versions, but so means whatever the version which we are going to use it, it's a open source. Open source means it's a free of cost with some terms and conditions. So now Java is a platform independent. We have been discussed about Aura, write once, run anywhere as a platform independent. And this can be helping you concurrently. Concurrently means parallel at a given point of time. You can run multiple threads and then work on this. So means for an example, I wanted to do the same action with a different, for an example, I wanted to open this browser for 3 times parallelly and then perform 3 logins. Now, this. Now, these are the parallel threads. I can give the parallel thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4. Open the browser, open the browser, open the browser. Log in with the username. Log in with the password. Click the, so you know, concurrently if you wanted to work, we can work with this one. So now this is called thread safe in Java, or Java safe thread. Means it can have multiple parallelly, it can do synchronization, asynchronizations, lot of stuffs are there. So these are all advantages.
That's why we are able to perform those load testing with Java.
That is different. See now, different languages, different uses different things. It's not that we together a different story. Okay. So now with the help of Java, yes, we can do that. That is what we need to understand. The parallel execution or parallel threading, if you want to do, definitely that can be possible. And the best advantage is Aura, and then it is open source too. So these are the basic features of Java, which definitely it keeps the Java in a top place, in top position. And that is how we will be using it in our Selenium, and then we'll be doing it. So this is the basic crisp introduction about Java. So we discussed about the history of Java, what is the latest version, old version, who introduced, when introduced, and how it came into the market, and what is Java, programming language, high-level language, low-level languages, object-oriented program, and what are the different features of this one. To have the quick features, it is concurrent, platform independent, open sources, and it was rich APIs which it can integrate and compatible with the different devices. And then it have lots of tons and tons of resources in the community support. And then it can, means Java can be used in different type of applications, web applications, framework, development, testing, big data. And we do have different IDs, NetBeans, IntelliJ, Eclipse, and Android. So, but for today, to our course, we'll be using it as an Eclipse. And Java is everywhere. So now it can be used in different domains and different big companies. And Java supported on, means it is a high-level language with an object-oriented structure. With that structure, the Java implementation will be done. So without doing this one, we can't do the automation at all. So that is where we need to understand OOPS very clearly. And it is very portable and versatile, and it is more popular and then high paid. So these are the features and advantages of Java, which it made to work on high, and then it will be implemented. So now we have been discussed these particular topics. We have been discussed about independent platform, OOPS, high-level languages in this one. The server-side programming is nothing but the APIs which I talked about. So the backend, the code will be written, and then it will be used. So this is how we have been introduced about this particular session, what is Java, and a quick review on what we have discussed for the last 1 hour. That's it for today.